What's the deal, YouTube? What's the deal, PlayStation Nation, and everybody else out there? It's your boy Michi Battle, and yes, I'm actually making another video this time, a real video. And shout out to my boy Stitch. He been holding it down for me while I've been away. I've been a little busy, been handling some things and playing some video games. And I decided to give Stitch 2 weeks to roam free and be crazy. And Stitch has held it down. So shout out to my boy Stitch. Give him a hand clap. Check out the previous videos with Stitch giving his points of view. And yeah, we'll get into this thing that people like to talk about, hypocrisy and everything else. But it's not going to be the typical hypocrisy video. It's going to be something that everybody does, not just one side. And then we might get a little one-sided later. Stitch was talking about invading my video, but hopefully he don't come in the background talking trash. I'm trying to get this done before he get up. But anyway, first on the agenda, it's the people who like to say stuff like, this game's not finished, it has, why are you buying DLC? They have the DLC made before the game's even dropped, so that's even more signs of the game's not finished. We're always paying for this unfinished product. We always play these unfinished games, unfinished this, unfinished that, unfinished. We pay for stuff that's unfinished while we buying unfinished games. You people, amazingly, are the first people to pre-order a game and play the beta. Ain't that amazing? And it's not everybody that pre-orders a game, but the majority of people that pre-order games to get in the betas, that can't wait to try these games and see what they're gonna be like, be the main ones screaming about the game's not finished. You just paid to play a demo. Why are you complaining about paying to play a finished product? It's crazy. Then people are gonna say, "Oh no, it's not a demo, it's a beta." So what is a beta? What do you do on a beta? It's not a demo. You don't try the game out. What do you do on a demo? You don't try the game out. it's funny. Oh boy, that's funny to me. But yeah, seriously though, it's a lot of people that every time you see a new game come out, or it'll just be a game in general, and people are complaining about it's not finished. Or they'll play stuff like Destiny and get to the end of Destiny and be like, oh, I didn't like Destiny, it wasn't finished. Or they have this DLC, it wasn't finished. They have all these areas you can access, it wasn't finished. Okay, let it not be finished. How many people tried to get into the Division beta? How'd you get into that? You had to have a confirmed pre-order. Now, whether you pre-order for free or you didn't pre-order for free, I'm not here to go off of that. But you had to make a pre-order, get a confirmed pre-order in order to get access to the beta. That meant about 60% of us paid for it. I didn't. But about 60% of us did. Just for them to release an open beta later. Ain't that some stuff? Here, we gonna try to get these pre-orders up for some game trials and some testing and everything, just to let people play it for free later in 2 weeks. Come on now, we gotta do better. If we gonna complain about that. Stop making people pay for stuff you gonna give them for free anyway. How about that? On to my next topic. You have, and this is a little more targeted area, you have people who, how do you say it, love EA Access? And I'm not knocking people that like EA Access. I mean, it's not for me. Even though I have it, it's not for me. More shown by the fact that I don't really use it. But it came with the console that I acquired, so yeah, I got it, but I don't use it. But people are saying stuff like, now we have Madden in EA's vault. Really? So now you want Madden? Oh, now we can play Madden and it has all the updates and everything. Oh, now you want to play Madden? Now that the season's almost over, you have to wait till the Super Bowl week to get Madden? Now all of a sudden you're excited to play when there's no more football left? We're going to have Madden excitement? That's crazy to me. But the crazier part about that is the fact that people will say that PlayStation has no games, right? There's no games on PlayStation. And wait for it. Wait for it. There's no new games that people are really buying on Xbox. And I'm just keeping this PlayStation Xbox because we all know that the Wii U didn't really have anything to drop. And PC people do what PC people do. So, not talking about any of them. This is just strictly Xbox and PlayStation. These people come out the woodworks and say stuff like, PlayStation has no games. But in reality, most of the people on Xbox aren't even getting anything new. They're hyped up for the old stuff. You saw people excited for Rare Replay, a collection of old stuff. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, well, that might have been redone. They were hyped for getting the other Gears of Wars, the old stuff. And I'm like, damn. When somebody goes to the store and show you that they got Nitro Plus blasters, hell, whatever the hell else came out on yesterday. It's a ton of games that came out yesterday on PlayStation. People come out with like 7 games. And I'm not talking about the free games with gold games or the PS Plus games. I'm talking about people came out with games on yesterday. And people are just like, oh, nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to play that. What are you playing? New. Nothing. But you're going to knock somebody getting new games. You're going to knock somebody having experiences they never had before. Meanwhile, you still have that Madden. You're hyped for the Madden that's coming on EA Access. Yeah, Madden that I didn't like. Or I didn't want to buy. Now finally I can play it. When the season's over. Again, that's what y'all do. You're hyped for the Rare Replay stuff. You're hyped for the older stuff. But what was the name of the game? Cobalt dropped yesterday, and I don't remember seeing anybody talk about the game Cobalt. I don't care if it's an indie or not. It's something different. It's something new. Play it. But we have those entitled gamers. What they like matters. Forget what the big picture is. They small-minded in a small box. So I'm just going to leave that there because I was really more angry earlier when I was going to make this video. And not angry like I was mad, but my feelings toward the subject matter was a little bit more aggressive. But I've calmed down. But I will leave you with this. There's a group of people who like to constantly bring up the great value that EA Access is, and they wonder why it's not on PlayStation. And people always go back and knock it. Well, Sony said it was bad value for customers. Well, Sony said this was bad. And Sony said this was bad. I need you to pull your head out your ass for 1 second. It's not just bad for customers. It's bad for gaming in general. You look at the sales of Madden 16, right? It's pretty much even. It's about 7 million of them sold physically. About 3 million sold on PlayStation platforms and 3 million sold on Xbox platforms. It's pretty even, right? Pretty even. But when you consider, and let this sink in, when you consider that there's been more copies of FIFA 16 sold on PS4 than there were copies of Madden sold. You'll see why EA Access is a bad idea. If you get a company like EA to start losing money, and they stop cranking out the games that you're used to getting on a yearly basis, you suffer. Because the Xbox already isn't getting any games. Now what if they have to scale back? You don't get your Madden, you don't get your FIFA, you don't get your Battlefield type game. Whether it's Battlefront or Battlefield, you don't get that. Then what? That's at least 3 titles down that people usually buy in a year. And you know, people don't really buy that many games. So, then what? What are you going to do then? It's crazy when you look at like the sales of Battlefront. And then you want to ask, why isn't it on PlayStation? It's not on PlayStation because it's bad for business. That's why. And anybody that thinks it's good for business is out there. You're out your mind if you think that you're going to make more money on EA Access than you will actually selling the games. They make more money off the sales of FIFA 16 on PlayStation than they do off a year of EA Access. They probably made more money off the sales of FIFA 16 on PS4 than they've made off of EA Access in general. And look at where the games are selling the worst. Where the games are selling the worst, that's where they have some kind of access program to get people to buy the games. But where people are actually buying them, they're like, we don't need it. Why would I have to convince you to play a game that you obviously don't want to play if you're not willing to pay for it? Answer me that. Or better yet, do you get up and go to work for free? Do you wake up early sometimes, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, if you go to work early? Do you wake up, look at that time clock? Not time clock, look at your alarm clock, put it back down, hit snooze, try to get a little bit more sleep, just to get up and drag to the shower, and drag to brush your teeth, and drag to eat you a little bit of breakfast, and drag and drag and drag just to go to work, and slave for however long you slave, half a day if you work part-time, a full 8 hours if you do a regular shift. Some people do 12-hour shifts. Some people working overtime. Do you get up and do you go to that job to come home and realize that all the work you did was for nothing? It's crazy. How would you feel if you got your paycheck and you look and see where you should have a certain amount of money, you don't have that money? You'd be like, damn, we came up short. Something happened on my check. My check ain't right. Let me go back in there because I'm short a few hours. I'm supposed to get paid for, let's say, $17 an hour for at least 40 hours this week. I worked a little bit of overtime, but you can keep the overtime. I need my 40. You got paid $8 an hour for like 6 hours. And that's what your check look like. That's what they getting on the ass in EA Access. And I know a lot of people say, well, EA makes their money on Ultimate Team. You know why they make their money on Ultimate Team? Because they know you don't want to play the game anyway. They'll hype up the Ultimate Team to make it seem like it's the real attraction to the game. What's the real attraction to Madden? It's football. You don't care where you play football. You don't care what kind of game mode it is. You just want to play football. So why hype up the Ultimate Team? Because you pay more for it. They'll give you the game on EA Access, but they gonna hype up the Ultimate Team to try to get you to buy it to put money into the Ultimate Team. So yeah, it's your boy Michi Battle. Stop following the crowd. Think for yourself, and stop being so damn wishy-washy and hypocritical. Do whatever you gonna do. Enjoy yourself. Game. And watch out for my new stitch.